Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a non-bingo-y rack, but I've got a couple of vowels. So I will probably be better off playing through this than changing. D, D, F, G, none of those go well together. So I can play Fido. I'd like to get rid of 2 out of D, D, G, but I'm not seeing a way of doing that. Fido takes an S, but I have one. Just one vowel. But is that enough to give me a bingo? I think I have draggers through the A. What about the O? Not seeing anything. If both are blocked, then a play like Dreg would sort out the duplicates. Okay, so opponent takes out one of the vowels. Do I really have nothing with the O? Don't think I do. Do these pairs assist? They don't. So where can I play Dreg? I have Dreg and Fag. Let me just see what Dreg's scores. That's 23, not very much. What about Dreg? 15, 8 fewer points. Yeah. Or G is not particularly bingo-y. I could play Gorged for 13. And Dogger as well. What about Grog? I think this is the best rack leave, and none of the scores were massive. And this provides very, very little for opponent. And if opponent opens a board, I'm well placed to capitalise with this rack leave. So I have a good pair of vowels. I have ladlers. That plays at the moment in row J because of FAS and also because of FAR and Rs. It doesn't play anywhere else, and that could get blocked. So what if it is blocked? What am I going to do? No scoring tiles on my rack. Nothing through the G, and no other floaters to consider. But I still like Grog. I like the fact that it offers so little for opponent. I don't think many floaters will be useful for this rack. O-Dallers and U-Dallers, if an O is available in first place. Ouch. Opponent bingos. So, do I have a bingo through any of these floaters? My spot for ladlers has gone. No new spot has been created. So this rack plus a D. No. How about an E? Resaddle, I think is... Ooh, no. I've only got 1 D and 2 Ls. So, no, I'm not seeing anything with that. Oh, wow, what about Sardell? I think that's good. Sardell works. And it gets doubled. What about the U? Does U-Dallers have an anagram? I think allured is the anagram of U-Daller. And that doesn't take an S, so I'm not seeing anything. Now, T in a double-double lane. No, so let's see if Sardell is good. It could be. And it is. No need to worry about what it could be. It's good. Fantastic. So I stay level with opponent. I've not drawn well, but I do have a mix of vowels and consonants. So a play of iwi or way would sort out the duplicates and get rid of the W. I have Willie in row H. 24 points. Wow, Sardell's one of those plays, it's so easy to miss. I think it's good just ending on the first L as well. That was the point I was going to make if this play came off. So I have iwi in column 11 and gi for a very lowly score. Likewise lower down in column 11. And the rack leave not great because I'm keeping duplicate A. So does WAI play anywhere great? No, it plays in column 11. Only 15 points, and I'm putting a big tile next to a double word square. That's not good. And I'm not seeing any longer words. Do I have a double through the T? Nope, not that I can see. Oh, wow. Back-to-back bingos for opponent, and both blanks go. Okay. So my willy spot remains available. Is anything better on offer? And while he's going to be better than willy, because it splits up the duplicate A, this isn't a terrible rack leave. M goes well with A and I. I am going with this. Oh, wow, what a pickup. Just 2 I's and an E. So I do have the M as a scoring tile. How can I play off 2 I's and an M? I could play mini, leaving AEI, which isn't terrible. I can play I mine, which is the same tiles, 22 points. I is covering this double letter square, so row A, not dangerous. AEI goes well with N. Not many other lanes, and I mine may attract opponent to the top left. I trail by 60, so I could do with a decent pick. But could I open the board up elsewhere? Maybe open the board up at the bottom. Fan doesn't take an I, it takes an E and an O. So the best I can do down here is nim. That keeps 4 vowels. That's not good. Okay, I am going with I mine for 22. Wow. Well, I do draw consonants. 3 consonants, 1 vowel. C and V don't go great together. But I think it's the rack as a whole which isn't ringing any bells, any bingo bells. But it's a fairly balanced rack. And if I open the board at the bottom, there will be lanes top and bottom. But how to do that? What about a play down from the D? I've got dived, which is quite nice. C is bingo-y, and the V prevents big parallel plays because there are no 2-letter V words. I also have device in column 2, but that's putting an E in the middle of row O, which is inviting trouble. Great, look at that, just 15 points for opponent. So this is what I'm thinking of, dived, keeping ace. This goes well with the N. I'm not offering much for opponent. I'm not scoring much either. Can I do better? I have U veer down from the U, keeping dice. Not seeing anything great at all through the T. Fado only takes an S, so I don't have any big overlaps to grog. What about a play through the N? Well, I've got envied, but that doesn't hit the triple. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything better than dived for 20. I have Acylate. Does that play anywhere? I don't think it does. So what about the floaters? B through an L, I would have Alley Cat. Now, I don't have an I, and Acylate doesn't hook GI. That's a shame. Opponent has opened up a new 7-letter lane. There already is one next to this G, but G and GI don't take an S, don't take an A rather. So does Acylate have an anagram? I don't think so. Alley Cat through an L, no L's. So B, no. What about O? No. N, still available. No, through an S I would have catalyze. V, E, no, D. No, okay, so I'm not seeing anything. How to sort the rack out? I'd like to play off the Y and the A. Interesting, I can do that here. And since there are now lanes top and bottom and in column 12, I don't have to create new lanes. 27 points is decent. This is a good rack leave. I'm not seeing anywhere better for the Y. I am going with this. So I think Cacolet may be good, but there's nowhere for it on this board. 32 points for opponent. So let me consider the floaters. O looks promising, but I'm not seeing anything. N. Double C not great. And far fewer floaters available at the bottom. What about co-locate? Doesn't feel great, but this is free challenge. Co-locate. And it's good. Unbelievable. Wow. That was, although not a total guess, it was fairly low in terms of my confidence. Co-locate is good. Wow. And I go into a lead. And a pretty decent set of 7 random tiles. I've set up a very hot spot top right. Still the Z to go, so this could be short-lived glee. I now have an I for Chi. Onto a D, I would have pinboard. Where are the floaters? Just the V at the bottom. Y, E, A, D. And now coming down from co-locate, nothing with the T or the E. Wow. Great, opponent doesn't have a big tile to put on this double letter square where the L has gone, but I do still trail, but only by 21. So, surely the place to play is column 12. Let me just consider these 2-letter sets. Labour Pain, I don't think is good. IT doesn't look good. FE, no. So, I've got Bio here for 25, keeping a decent set, providing very little, which I think is important. Yeah, let me count the remaining vowels. 11 out of 25. Vowel dry. So maybe this is better. As we approach the end game, vowels increase in importance. Do I have a play beginning LA with an I in 5th place? Don't think so. Now, I'm not getting rid of B and P, but I could with BAP or BOP. Do either of those play yeb not good? Yep is good. A do is good. Two eyes to come. Iter is good, lab is good, and lap, but FE doesn't take B or P. Any longer words? No. Okay, so I am going to go with bin for 25. And I draw another O. From a C, I would have co-pasta. They're not available. Nothing with the V. Look at this, just 4 points between us. Column 15 is a bingo lane. Co-locate takes an S. That doesn't work here. Through an O, I would have soap root. So, do I have a 7 here? There are 7-letter lanes in columns 13 and 11. Don't think so. Wow, just 9 points for opponent. And they're setting up a super hot lane in row L. If I had a bingo, it would almost certainly play. The E is not a bingo floater. AHS doesn't take anything. Gup is good. So just considering initial letters, and if I'd played bio instead of bin, I would have had patrons. And tarpons. Actually, they may not have played. However, well, they would because your takes an S. Am I missing a bingo with this rack? Not seeing a 7. Nothing with the V. What about AD? No. So, how can I get value from the P? Wow. What about doing... I can play Po, keeping roast, which is pretty good. 8 vowels left out of 19. However, I'm setting up a super hot lane in row O. And opponents already indicated with their low score that they've got a great set of tiles. So the question is, do I play Po or Poo? Poo massively restricts opponents' options in row O, but I think also damages my rack. However, with 2 O's still to come, double O definitely hampers my rack, so I am minded to play Poo for 30. Oh, and that's the issue. Only drawing consonants. I do lead, but I could be on the receiving end of some bad news. However, the remaining tiles, very non-bingo-y. Look at this, J, K, W, W and Z. But without vowels, what can I do? I have Vax on my row. Oh, wow, look at this. This is nice. I have Vax and Urea, and this offers very little to opponent. And it scores 30 points. Wow. Can I draw 3 vowels? Nope, but I draw 1. And I have the last S. Interesting. I don't think opponent can do much in row O. Only 3 tiles in the bag. Just 17 points. Fantastic. Plus, opponent has given a fabulous spot for wrist. 6 minutes on my clock. Is this the play? It's 37 points. This would take me to 391. I would lead by 49. Wrist takes an S and a Y at the end. All those have gone. There are no blanks. W takes E and O. There are plenty of those. But what can opponent do? Zoo for 41. And look at this, there are 5 vowels out of the remaining 8. So I am going to have some scoring potential. Wrist is surely the play. Let me put this back. I do have time. I don't want to mess this up. Opponent's played up because they've probably got an O. So they could play ooze, something like that. I don't think I'm going to score anything like what I'm going to get in column 14 elsewhere. What about row O? No, nothing beginning with O. Uni is good. No, I think this is a golden opportunity. Wrist for 37. And I draw a vowel. Fantastic. Opponent's surely not going out. So even with their biggest possible score, I must be able to. But where? Where can I go out with ruts? Fortunately, I've got 5 minutes to sort this out. I've got brute with the B of bin. I need a second out. Not seeing it so far. It may not exist. Nothing with the O. Nothing with TE. Oh, well, I do have utter, but only if Wally takes a U, and it doesn't. But is opponent really going to block this B spot? If they are, they're not going to score very much. But it would be nice to have a second out. True through an E. I have route through this O. I have brute. I have route. And they can't both be blocked. Fantastic. Wow. After opponent's start, I thought this one was not going to go my way. But wow, what a change. What a switch round. And look, I think it was the bingos, Sardell and co-locate. I think I was fortunate with both of them since I had more than a scintilla of doubt. And I think some good fortune at the end with wrist being playable. Big scoring tiles out there in the J and the Z and vowels. I had none of them on my rack. I had the W and just one vowel, but what a spot. Great, 41 for opponent, so they still trail. I've got brute and route. Brute's going to score the most. Has opponent provided anything better? Yes, they have. So rut for 10. And the final score, 383 for opponent, 429 for me, a winning margin of 46 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, epic stuff. I love that. So it was me to go fast, unpromising rack. And I play Fader for 16. I could have got 10 more points by burning the S, but the S is worth 8 to 10, so I think it's better on my rack. And what do? I play Grog for 10, sacrificing 10 points, but look at this rack leave, GRRS, whereas Grog keeps REDS, so I like my play. Now, this is where I felt it wasn't going my way. Superb bingo by opponent, Jutons, which blocked my bingo. I couldn't see an alternative, but there was one, which I did find in the end. Interesting, that could also... Wow, it could have played for more points by playing lower down in column 3. 2 more points available. Yeah, and I should have done that. Now, look at this for a rack. Absolutely amazing stuff. And 10,000,001 bingos. So I trail by 60. I've got a non-bingo-y rack. Malwar, H1. Retains double I, but the score is huge. I play Wali in the same spot. Yeah, apart from Malwar, everything else was of a similar order of score. Now, opponent plays Bonnets. I have all these I's. B2, Minge in column 2, but retaining 3 vowels. So I play I mine for 7 fewer points. And what am I keeping? I'm keeping A-E-I, which I like. It's much better than A-double-I. Opponent's rack, they play Retia, and this was a tricky rack. Phew, no missed bingo here, but there was N-caved through the N, and I think that would have been the play, or in-caved would have been. Instead, I played dived for 14 fewer points. Yeah, in-caved, definitely the play. Wow, opponent with the J all the way in from here to the end of the game. Plays Chi. I have a bingo, but nowhere to play it. So I play AY, keeping Cleat. Opponent plays Yam. Now I have Cacolet, nowhere for it, but there is an O for collocate. This was the turning point in the game. I think if I'd missed this bingo, it could have been would have been an uphill struggle. As it is, I found it, and suddenly I have a slender lead. Gosh, opponent could have played Jizz in the top row, stopping 1 square short of the triple. They play Life for 34. Now I make a fateful decision here. I play Bin rather than Bio, thinking that vowels were scarce, but maybe I should have looked at the 4 or the 3 vowels, the 3 O's in the pool, and played Bio instead. Anyway, opponent plays Ure. What are they thinking? They play U-R-E, keeping Jizz and E. Are they setting something up? Nope, not that I can see. My rack, I play Pooh for 30, and I like that. The rack leave of Star is fantastic. Goes exceptionally well with any vowel, should I be fortunate enough to draw one. Now, opponent accumulating more scoring tiles. Plays Neck for 26. And look at this, just 1 point between us. So this is a great play, not in terms of boasting about spotting it, but in terms of impact on the game. It scores well, it provides nothing, it takes out a super hot lane. And it also leaves a half-decent rack leave, should I draw vowels. Now, opponent plays Up. Yeah, not quite sure what's behind that play. They're leaving 1 in the bag, which there's usually merit in doing. So they're playing Up. Yeah, and I think they're seeing they've got the last O's in the game, and Up-O is good. However, Up also takes an S. I've got an S, and that's 37 points, which gives me the game. Opponent plays Zoo. Could have played Zo for a few more points. It wouldn't have made a difference to the final score. I have Rut for 10, and I run out a winner by 40-odd points. So, what a game. Absolutely cracking stuff. Wide open board, plenty of bingos, and a couple of obscure ones in Sardell and Collocate, but it wasn't a game all about bingos. Indeed, in most games, most of the plays are not bingos, and there were some really interesting board positions to consider. I still don't know what was right over Bin and Bio, and you certainly can't judge, you can't decide which is right purely based on what you pick. But super exciting stuff, as always, with Scrabble. So many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.